Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Nick and I'm here today at Kansas City. We're at Swan Motorsports. We're back again for Pikes Peak 2026 and we've got a whole new plan, whole new setup. And I've literally just gotten off the plane. The boys picked me up and we had a quick walk around the shop. They sort of showed me around. The place is incredible. It's one of the nicest shops I've ever seen. I just said, well, we better stop and just turn the camera on and do a nice walkthrough. So I'm going to take you guys through and stay tuned to the end because there's something really special at the end and it's going to be a bit of a cliffhanger. So yeah, let's go check it out, guys. Welcome back. We've got Mel Swan, the driver, and Matt, you've been here for 3 weeks already, haven't you?
A couple of weeks, yeah.
Yeah, working on the car.
More than a couple of weeks. Been here like almost a month. Well,
done some testing.
Done some testing, done a lot of kilometers or miles.
Yeah.
Done a lot of driving.
I think we got to do a sit down video, just talk about
what we've been through so far.
What you've been through, but right now we're just going to go through the shop.
Yeah, so let's do a shop video.
Yeah. Welcome to the shop.
Welcome to the shop. This is the first car that I seen Merle drive back in the day before I even met him. I don't remember what year it was. It may have been like 2012 or 13. I was looking up Atlantics and I watched a video of Merle racing this thing and you still got it.
Yeah.
So I commented on the video and I said,
love this car.
I said, remember this comment? And you actually remember the comment from back in the day. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah. 014, this is your personal Swift Atlantic 014.
Yeah, this is an 014 that like we have for the shop. It's not my car personally, but you know, it's one we've had here for a long time and I get to drive this car sometimes and you know, we have it apart right now. I wish it was together so we could see it better, but
yeah.
But yeah, we changed some stuff on the engine. You can see what we changed here on the engine. I just went to an 8 injector setup. The standoff injection is not on there right now, but I got sidetracked on what I was working on with the other car in the shop, and so I haven't been working on this car lately. But I'm always doing stuff to it. I'm always trying to make it faster still, and you know, it's a nice setup. This it's clean. I've changed some things on the back of the car here. I had a mind that maybe I was going to take it to some races this year, but I got so focused on the other project that I've kind of put this on the back burner for a little while.
Yeah, it's a cool point that Mel was showing me. Obviously the standoff injectors, it's great for wide open throttle on a race car, but like he was saying in the pits, almost caught fire or something, didn't you say? And
it did catch fire twice.
Okay, it caught fire. That's why they've
not this car, it was a different car, but we've had cars that had just the 4 standoff injection. And it runs fine, but like there's fuel constantly hitting off the butterfly or the barrel and running back out the front and just filling the side pod, and one small spark can create a blaze. And both times they went out very quickly. It was just burning residual fuel that had like just fallen onto the tunnel, but it's kind of alarming when you suddenly see a big burst of flame, even though it goes out in a few seconds.
So that's what these are for, just for running around the pits and just idle, just to keep the car running at
yeah, so under 20% throttle it runs completely off of this, and then it does a transition from 20% up to 100% throttle. So but yeah, under 20% you're running completely off of that, even on the racetrack or anywhere. Yeah, no, it's 1.6 block, but it's a 1.8 engine.
So stroke, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have like the biggest, it's not really even an 1800 cc, it's like, I think it's like 1746 or something like that is what we can get out of it.
Yeah.
Very, very quick. I mean, that engine, I've changed some things actually on this. I was going to run an electric water pump, so I've done away with the water pump. I have a single belt for the oil pump here. Just simplifying some things, packaging in the car and whatnot. It kind of frees up a lot of space to be able to add some of the other things that I was going to add, which was some shift system stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have dyno numbers on that motor?
Yeah, that one's right around 280.
280. So it's similar. Yeah. Is that the same? That's not the same engine that we were working on.
It's the same engine. That's the exact,
okay,
it's the exact same engine. Yeah. Cool. It's just gone through. Even since then, it's gone through some modifications.
Okay.
So
I didn't realize it was the same engine.
Same engine. I had to send it back because we dismantled that.
We pulled
thing,
it apart.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I remember. It's coming back to me now. It's been
and
3
so
years.
like when I send it back, there's things we want to change.
Yes.
And so then I actually sent it back again to change some of the things we just talked about. where I've deleted the water pump and redone the throttle bodies.
Right, moving on. Right behind you, this is what we're here for.
This is the distraction from all the other projects. So
yeah,
been working on that. We basically I've been working on all Swift 016s this year. So this car and Hans's car.
So the setup for this year, you've gone away from the Turbo 4A?
Yeah, I mean, we can dive deep into that, but like basically it came down to what we've gone back to is essentially close to a stock package. I mean, this roll cage instantly makes it not look like a stock package, but get rid of that roll cage and there's very few subtle differences that doesn't make it from, there's a complete standard SCCA spec 016 right there.
Yeah.
Of course, missing its wings right now. But if you put them side by side, there'd be very, very little, if any, difference. The only difference we've done to the engine is that's a 2.5 liter instead of a 2.3, so it's given it like another 15 to 18 horsepower.
Cool.
But the reason we did that is because the turbo engine, we were just getting the engine sorted out and it was starting to run good. But part of the problem we had with that engine was we had to torque limit it and things with the transmission that we had available for the Atlantic. So then I started looking for bigger transmissions and ways that we could fit all that. But when you do that, as we talked about before, last time we did the project with the turbo, was the back of the car is the engine and transmission. So you basically have to redesign everything. It's not just putting a transmission or engine in. You're redesigning suspension, bodywork, a whole host of things. And it's a very costly development, and it was kind of impractical, some of the transmissions that I was coming up with. And so that's when I thought, we just need a result. Because like last time we went to Pikes Peak, we didn't get the results. And so this is back to basics. And so we have a 344 horsepower, 2.5 liter naturally aspirated engine. So that's what we're running now.
Yeah, we'll do a bit more of a deep dive on this car soon.
Yeah, I mean, I did some of the things again, like these are some of the differences. Like I've gone to electric water pump, not for horsepower gains or anything like that. Again, it's kind of done for, on the mountain, we have like cooling issues. Sometimes you clearly don't have as much air to flow through the radiators. You're much lighter weight air, less dense air. So you have less air traveling through the radiators for cooling. And then also, like, you have low RPM. And so if you're relying on the engine's water pump to pump, sometimes going through hairpins and everything where you're down like to 3,000 RPM instead of 8,500 RPM, you have low flow from the water pump in addition to lack of air. So that pump there is going to flow maximum all the time.
Yeah, nice.
So that's the kind of changes we made, but otherwise it's still pretty basic. Before we had, from here back, it was the 014 car back here. We had a Toyota in here, we had 014 bell housing, we had a hybrid of an SG3, SG4 transmission. Then we had an 016 wing on it. It was all over the place. All the suspension pieces had to be made custom for that car, because essentially, I explained this like a few years ago, but like on that 014 right there, even that car, the Toyota is installed at 2 degree because the crankshaft sits very low, the center line sits very low, and if you had the transmission at that level, it would bang against the track. Mm-hmm. So they actually tip that thing up to get a little more height there. And then subtly enough, when you have all those parts, you don't realize that all the mounting pieces are made for a 2 degree angle install. So whereas this is your typical 0-90. So this is a bigger, taller engine, taller crank center line, but it's 0-90. So it's all still very low, lightweight. Not as light as the 014. It is the 014 is physically a smaller car. The 016, the 014 is kind of the last of the narrow tub cars. Yep. Like of that generation, 2001 was around the time that sanctioning bodies requested manufacturers start making tubs wider because drivers were getting injured. Because even the littlest drivers, would get in here and they would have a very thin seat.
Okay.
So even if the driver was, 120 pounds, they would fit in there and they have like a 1-inch seat. And so in a side impact, they were having hip injuries and things like that. And so with the 016, they went to a wider tub. You can see this seat here. It's a much bigger seat. There's a lot of thickness to the sides and everything now.
Yeah.
And that's how basically all Formula cars are built now. They're much wider.
Yeah, right.
Mostly for safety. This is the clean room. This is like where we do kind of like sub-assembly here. Do a lot of transmissions, uprights, steering racks, brakes. This is kind of like where stuff comes together. I have a few transmissions that I'm working on here for various cars. There's the old turbo engine in weight.
Yep. So do you want to say it? It's for sale?
It is for sale. So yeah, we need to sell that thing, get it into the hands of somebody that wants to run it, because, for our car, I thought about taking it back to a naturally aspirated engine, but it was changing so many things, and plus it's a cool engine, so, I just left it together as a whole piece. But yeah, there you go. If somebody is looking, there it is.
Yeah. Email.
Over 700 horsepower.
Well, I'll put your email in the description, and they can email you for the
Yeah.
pricing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah. If you're interested in this motor, it's up and running again. Yeah.
Yeah. Inconel exhaust, Inconel wrap. Has a couple different exhausts with it actually. So, like in other words, if this exhaust doesn't fit in a street car.
So this engine's for sale. And before we go outside, do you just want to open up the drawer with all the?
Yeah, Nico's favorite drawer.
My favorite drawer.
Let's see.
All the carbon velocity stacks, just whatever size
There's
you
your
want.
full assortment. Like we have duals, single, different
like a
sizes.
100 mil.
Yeah, there you
Maybe
go.
yeah.
There, we had a few setups like that, where we'd
Yeah.
run two of these short ones on the end, two long ones in the middle.
Yeah, right.
So we ran that one, but like at the end, what we ran the most was this dual short like this.
Okay.
Hassergren was all about top end after that. So,
But yeah,
we ran this in the Pro Series. It was a lot of this combo.
that's just a quick run through of the shop. Engine room. You got a fabrication room back there. But
yeah, there's a lot more stuff to look at here, but a lot of drawers to open. So
Yeah.
Lots of crazy stuff.
Oh, Nico, give us the camera. I'll show you something. Go for a walk that way.
what you're gonna show
The
me?
stash?
You want to show me the size of the shop?
I have a bunch of parts that I picked up recently, and I haven't even gone through all this stuff.
Yeah.
I've only opened some of it because, again, I've been so busy preparing for Pikes Peak and everything, and so, but this opportunity came along, and I wanted an engine. I needed stuff for that. Come on, Sonny, you're part of this.
And we'll just, while we're going over here, we'll just walk past the Porsches and the 3 hoists and the,
Yeah, lots of
we'll
stuff.
just quickly brush over how perfect the floors look.
There's all kinds of, there's lots of toys here. And
I do like the floors.
there's quite a toy box over here for you, because I know that it's all about Toyota. So
This is how Merle lured me over. I wasn't
Yeah,
gonna come back,
so
and then he said, "Well, you have to come back now."
we have a stash of Toyota stuff. We have valve covers, heads, so 7 or 8. This has all showed up. I haven't even opened most of it yet. We have 6 marine cranks. Actually, I think there's a couple TRD cranks in here. I have 5 or 6 marine cranks. This block this is part of an ornament that I had around, but a bunch of Molly pistons.
Well, hold
for
on.
it.
Let's wrap it up there, guys, because we're going to come back and we're going to go through all this.
Yeah, because you guys, I haven't even unwrapped most of that stuff.
Yeah,
all
so
this
it's gonna
stuff
be
is still wrapped in bubble
Christmas
wrap.
for Nico.
This is what I wanted. I came just. I'm not making. I didn't want to make videos. I just want this. So
I want you guys to tell me what's in some of these boxes. I don't even know, because
Well, we've got a lot of good floor space
it
here.
showed up in the middle of the Pikes Peak build, and I just put it on the shelf and said I'll get to it after Pikes Peak.
yeah, so Merle bought all this stuff. he's waited for us to get here to make a video unboxing everything. We're going to lay it out. We're going to do a full video on all the stuff that's here. A lot of this stuff's actually going to be for sale as well.
A lot of the castings are brand new.
Brand new from Toyota. Some of them, like you were saying, some of them don't even have valve seats in them yet. They're just complete bare casting.
There's used blocks, there's new blocks, used heads, brand new heads, small port, big port. Most of it's small port.
But we're going to wrap the video up there. Next time, like I said, we're going to go through all this stuff. If you want to see that, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, we'll see you next time when we go through all this stuff. So stay tuned, guys.
Look at this cunt. He's a good looking man.
Oh, back in the day. Oh, there's another one here.
Yeah, and look at this one. He's one of my favourites. Look on his face.
Sick.
With the flag, the checkered flag, no helmet.
Yeah. That's the car that's outside.
No, I asked him that. It's not the same. But how cool is the wing? Look at that wing.
Oh, it's different, is it?
Yeah. See how there's no vertical post in the centre?
Oh.
See how it's just the outsides? That's a cool looking car.